Our next guest joins us from CoinDesk Consensus in Austin, a crypto, blockchain, and Web3 conference where guests include Cathie Wood and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They're due to speak later today. Here is Tom Farley, the CEO of Bullish, the company that owns CoinDesk. Tom is also former president, of course, of the New York Stock Exchange, a longtime guest on Squawk, occasionally guest host as well. Tom, it's nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you. I've missed you all. I woke up a little bit late this morning. I flipped on CNBC, and you and Joe were fighting. I knew I was in the right place. It's a hot set up there.
So welcome to the show. Help us understand what kind of fighting or not is happening down in Austin, and what the conversation is. I would have thought it would be crypto, but I imagine this morning it might be crypto with a twist of guilty.
There's so much going on. So I'm down here at the Consensus Conference. There's 15, 20,000 people. And, we were on our way to kind of a normal conference. And the month of May has just been nuts. A month of a decade of policy in the digital asset space has transpired in the month of May. And then I was with RFK Jr. yesterday when that news came out. And it was surreal. I mean, it was standing room only to hear what he had to say. I was backstage with him. You could tell he wasn't really all that excited to talk about it. You know, his comments, you've seen a summary of his comments, but his kind of view was, who cares? This isn't an important issue for the American public, and feels like just a continuation of the culture war. Let's move past it. But yeah, it was a nutty day yesterday.
Tom, how much do you think that crypto, oddly enough, feels like it has become politicized? The guest you just mentioned has come out in favor of crypto, has said, if you vote for me, I'm going to be a proponent of crypto. You recently started to hear a similar kind of argument from former President Trump. I don't know where the Democrats, I don't think the Democrats have been as vociferous about it, but then you have a whole bunch of, frankly, Democrats in crypto who are some of the most prominent people in the business. So it's very hard to try to understand how you think politics and crypto relate. Obviously, regulation is in the middle of that.
I could not have predicted this, Andrew, but I'm not sure there's a more politicized issue right now in America than digital assets. Like, let's go back through the month of May. May 8th, the administration comes out and says, we're going to veto a relatively benign bipartisan bill working its way through Congress. President Trump sees that on May 11th and says, there's a place for crypto in my administration. The 85, 90 million Americans that own crypto look at that and say, well, that seems reasonable. The administration, the Democratic Party realizes, oh, geez, maybe we're on the wrong side of politics. They then say, we won't veto an additional bill that's working its way through the House and ultimately passes the House. President Trump then doubles down, says, not only is there a home for crypto, I want to support it. I want it to develop here in America because I want to support interesting new technologies in this country. Then the administration looks at it and says, well, we have to do something. The Ethereum ETF gets approved also in May. And if you're keeping score at home, and I know this is a dizzying amount of developments, ETH, many years ago, the SEC came out and said, not a security. For the last couple of years, the SEC has been treating it as a security. Last week, by approving this ETH ETF, definitively is saying once and for all, not a security. So you basically have both parties realizing you have a large electorate, right, mostly male, many non-white, disproportionately non-white, who are interested in digital assets, interested in seeing it develop. And so both parties are saying, what can we do to be helpful? It certainly all started with May 11th at Mar-a-Lago, President Trump saying, hey, there's a place here in my administration.
Hey, Tom, I have a different question, because I've heard the figure that you mentioned bandied about a lot, and it's never made sense to me. Maybe you can make more sense of it, and maybe you know the provenance of it. This figure that 90 million Americans own crypto. If you think about it, there are only about 200 million Americans over the age, I believe, of 18 years old in this country, which would mean that physically half of them, including people who are much, much older. And if you think about the curve in terms of retirees, that they all own crypto. I ask taxi drivers quite regularly and just people on the street whether they own crypto, and I will tell you it is not typically that half of them say that they own crypto at all. So I've never understood where that figure comes from.
Well, First of all, the estimates are all over the map. I've seen 70, I've seen 85, I've seen 93. People will put their names to it. They have entire buildups of exactly what it is. Andrew, if it's wrong by 5x, shouldn't we support a great new technology in this country, especially because it's a very motivated group of people who care deeply about digital assets. But just punch into your Google machine right there, Andrew, you'll see a number of studies that come up that broadly put the number between 70 and 95 million in terms of individual.
I've seen the studies. That's what by the way, I
haven't done the study. If you're asking me to measure the veracity of the study, I kind of I look at them all and I weigh the ones that have a high number, a low number, and I gave you an estimate here on air without, having a big note set at the bottom of my comment.
Right. What is your sense? We do debate ETH and whether we think that is going to be an approved security effectively at some point soon in terms of an ETF or the like. How do you handicap that situation? Obviously, the last time we went down this road, it required a lawsuit for the SEC effectively to capitulate. You think that the SEC is going to capitulate on its own this time?
Yes.
It's a one-word answer. Okay, why?
It's just, in my mind, there's no ambiguity. It's going to be approved. It's going to be approved soon. It's generally very well received. All the signals are there. Honestly, I'm handicapping it at 99 to 1.